I've been playing with computers and electronics from a very young age. And what I've learned over the year is that the ability to take technology and turn it into something viable, functional, that people want and need and solves people's life is what excites me. Sounds a little bit like a cliche, but seeing lots of people use your technology and get excited about it, use your product actually, is what excites me.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Thank you very, very much for joining me, Lior. I have the pleasure of speaking to a technologist at heart, an entrepreneur, and today investor by profession. And so a really, really cool journey, disrupting some really interesting industries with SolarEdge and the different things you've done in the military. And today, obviously, working and investing with one of the really, I think you were just named one of the best funds in the world from the entrepreneur side, which is really awesome. That's probably the most important metric out there, sort of like the NPS of the traditional customers. And so I'm really happy to have you here. Lior, tell me a little bit about your passions. What really excites you in your world?
Okay, so I love the term technologist at heart because I've been doing technology stuff since a very, very, very early stage. My first computer, I got it at the age of 7, had 1 kilobyte of memory, and then I upgraded it to 64 kilobytes of memory. So I've been playing with computers and electronics from a very young age. And what I've learned over the year is that the ability to take technology and turn it into something viable, functional, that people want and need and solves people's life is what excites me. Sounds a little bit like a cliche, but seeing lots of people use your technology and get excited about it, use your product actually, is what excites me.
Interesting. And so there's the technology side, there's the product side, the connection piece of it, and specifically you decided to dedicate a lot of your time to renewable energy.
Yes.
Where did that come from? I mean, today everybody's talking about it, obviously, but back then I don't think it was as mainstream as today, or as at least on the surface as it is today. Tell me a little bit about your founding of SolarEdge.
So we got into renewable energy by chance. Not like we said, okay, we're going to do a renewable energy company. We were 5 friends. We said we'll start something. And we looked for ideas pretty much everywhere and in numerous markets. I don't want even to say not just energy, because we didn't even look at energy. And throughout that, ideation process, we got into the understanding that there's a revolution in power electronics, and that there is a digitization of the power electronics fields. And we developed this technology around batteries and power management in laptops and mobile devices. Nobody would invest in that. Every investor we met was like, very nice, but no, thank you. Until one investor told us that the technology looks very, very cool, but the market is a competitive red ocean type of market, and that it will be very hard to create a huge success in this market. And then we just looked at markets where we can move our technology into. And Guy, which was one of the founders and the CEO, when we built the list, he said, solar energy is going to be a big thing. Let's explore that. It was by no means even number 5 on the list. It was somewhere around number 15, 18. But we looked at that first, and we found that there's a huge market that really needs this disruption, really growing, good for the planet and for mankind. We moved all our efforts there, and that's how SolarEdge was created.
All right, and so just a little bit about solar energy and renewable energy, the space that you were in. What were sort of the key insights that now, having gone through the process, IPO, et cetera, what do we know, or what did you learn about the space?
So when we started, there were 2 things that you could easily see about the market. A, solar energy was very expensive.
Yeah.
I'll just give you the metric. When we started in 2006, solar panels were sold at around $14 a watt. $14 a watt, that's really, really expensive compared to the price today, which is around 20-something cents a watt. Solar energy was really expensive, and the field was very basic, very rudimentary. You would just connect the solar panels in strings, like Christmas lights in some way, and connect them to a power conversion device, which was very good in the conversion efficiency, but very basic in all other aspects, not web connected, not sophisticated at all. And we realized that this is a market that is going to grow significantly because everybody said it's going to grow, and it was clear that the planet needs it, and that we can bring all of our disruption into the system side and the power electronic side and web connection. Now, fast forward.
I want to pause there for a second. So you're mentioning that you have a clear conviction of where this industry is heading and the growth of it, not just from an economic need, but it's just clear society. Is this a conviction that everybody has around you? So
that's exactly what I wanted to say. So you fast forward this 17 years into the future to now, solar energy is the cheapest cost of energy. There is no way of making energy which is cheaper, competing with nuclear. Nuclear is also very cheap. So solar energy is very cheap, very abundant, right? So there is solar penetration into our grid is clear in most places around the world. It brings a lot of other advantages because it is distributed generation, so it solves a lot of issues with the distribution grid. And the technology advancement is simply huge. So we moved from just bringing web connection into solar systems. Today, solar systems are grid connected in a sense that they communicate with each other. They have storage and backup, and there are like these cool things called virtual power plants. When tens of thousands of solar systems operate as one large virtual power plant, that the field has advanced so much, it will be a major source of energy for mankind. It is already a major source. It will be even larger. So the conviction that we had, like in 2006, it's clear to see it now.
Interesting. Okay, so you go through the whole journey that's every entrepreneur's dream with SolarEdge, and where do you find yourself in your own journey? So what are the things that you're sort of thinking to yourself, or the different expectations or different things that you now want to bring to the world?
So my journey with SolarEdge was overall close to 15 years, and it was amazing because every 2 years the company evolved. We started as a team doing only R&D, and then at some point I was tasked with finding design partners and convincing them to work with us. So that was very interesting for me as an engineer to start doing some business stuff, and for design partners to move to actually structuring product and business, and God forbid doing sales. And from that, we moved to the point where we needed to be a global company, in the sense that we are selling in multiple countries, and then sales scale up, and then a public company, and then a growing public company. Every 2 years, something new, very interesting for me. All that with continuously developing technology and products. And after 15 years, companies are very, very large and sells billions of dollars and makes and profit of hundreds of millions of dollars. And I transitioned out. I'm still involved in SolarEdge in a consultancy role to the management, but what I do now and my passion now is early stage venture capital investing, basically trying to recreate that experience by meeting new teams. And it's amazing because I get to see the future like 5 times a week. Some of these teams I get the privilege of investing, and then I try to give them, from my experience, as board member, as a friend, as an investor, to help them move in a similar direction or in a similar path that we've seen at SolarEdge.
Right. And so what things are you most excited by today when you meet teams? Is it in different technologies, different types of people? What is your sweet spot in terms of how you like to spend your time?
So people is everything, right? And we say as go of people first, and for my and from other journeys, what I know, is that finding the right team, a team that is on one hand coachable, on the other hand strong and independent. That's the key to success for startups. That's the key to success as a company. So the first thing I look when I see any team is how good is the team, how good is the chemistry between the team members, and what is the combination of capabilities that they have as a team. In terms of things that I like to invest, so if you look at the growth portfolio, you would see that around a third of our portfolio is what we call vertical SaaS. It's always places where there is vertical part of the market where there is room for disruption, either because there are new data sets or because there is a new way of utilizing that data. So if I invested in an AI company that is leveraging proteomic data for drug discovery, so there's new data sets and there are new AI models, and now you can take the new AI models and the new data sets and disrupt pharma. Mm-hmm. So that's one example of our vertical AI strategy and things that excite me. A strong team in a vertical where there is a good market, but also something that's changed dramatically, either in the availability of data or the algorithms that process that data. Another third of our portfolio is infrastructure. So obviously in infrastructure, I look at climate and energy, because these are fields that I am strong affinity to and strong understanding, but also the entire infrastructure stack of data centers and cloud. You know, people are so excited with generative AI. I'm excited with generative AI. I'm still not sure what's the play there for startups, but for sure, the companies that are going to make the most money, at least initially, from generative AI are the data center companies, the cloud infrastructure companies. So when we look at infrastructure companies, that excite us. And the third of our portfolio is edge. Compute at the edge, sensing at the edge, communication at the edge. There are still a lot of things to disrupt because too much of our data is captured at the edge and then sent for processing in the cloud. And very cost effective in energy, and very cost effective in compute. If we could do more of that at the edge, there are a lot of interesting opportunities there.
Interesting. And so, you're mentioning a variety of things. Obviously, all of them are surrounding deep technology, and it sounds like it's a deep technology in various domains. And so you have to really, sort of be domain expert, how are you, either Lior or as a fund, how do you navigate, being able to play with these domain expertise around these different verticals, because they require an internal thesis to be aligned with the thesis of obviously the entrepreneurs, and all of these. I don't imagine that there's unanimous thoughts around any of these industries, and so how do you operate within this world of uncertainty in three different connected but different deep tech domains?
So there are two layers, right? So if you look at a specific company in a specific technological lane, it's unrealistic to believe that we would have the deep technology understanding. So we use experts. But what I think is more important is the ability to understand the technology to a certain depth, and then to layer that with the core and deep understanding we have of the markets.
Mm-hmm.
Because technology is great, but as I started, the product is more important for a startup success. The product market fit is more important. The direction that the market is taking. You would have to have mind-blowing technology, and I must tell you that startups really have mind-blowing technology in Nobel Prize level. So usually, if you're going against a market direction, if you're going against what the customers need, your best technology won't get you into a great company. So our ability to know the markets, to live within the markets, to understand them, where these markets are going, to be in touch with the customers and understand what they need, is what helps us select the companies in the specific fields. Yes, we need to understand technology, because otherwise we don't even know how to recognize a good company. But at a certain level, we will need experts, and we always bring experts for the technology due diligence layer. But I must tell you, that's really the most important layer. Team, and then product, and the ability for that technology to disrupt the market.
Very, very cool. So if we're looking a couple of years into the future, you're a technologist at heart, entrepreneur, investor, and obviously a forward thinker, having given the first part of this conversation. What are you most excited by? What are some things that are potentially, keeping you up at night that, that really resonate with you?
So I'll start with where we started, energy and climate. Clearly there's a crisis, right? The crisis, it's not just the global warming crisis, which I have no doubts that we are living through it. There's also an energy crisis coming from the fact that we consume more and more energy. Mm-hmm. There's an energy shift in the way that we consume energy. I'll just give you one example, but there are many more. Electric vehicles. The world is clearly moving towards electric vehicles because of many reasons, not just climate. And people don't understand that, but electric vehicles are part of the grid. They are moving power stations that you can charge at home and discharge at work, and the other way around, they're part of the grid. It's a disruption of the financial model. Electric vehicles they take up less spare parts. So it's a huge financial disruption for auto companies. Mm-hmm. Auto companies are now thinking of how they can be part of the energy play. So energy and climate, wow. These two I can talk about for hours. And if you let me, I will. The changing of the market, the changing of the financial models, the technology that is needed, the amount of data points that are needed to make decisions around our grid is mind-boggling. So yes, I'm very bullish on energy, specific energy types of companies, and I think that because of the global warming crisis, there would be market disruption in climate and carbon. So these are two fields. Then comes data centers, or data in general, right? We are the growth of data consumption and data storage for mankind is huge, which means that new data sets that will disrupt things, and lots of data centers, whether they're on the edge or in the cloud, that we need to process that. I don't think we've even started tapping into that potential. And there are a few other things that excite us as a fund. For example, the disruption in healthcare that started before COVID, and COVID accelerated that. Bio, genomics, proteomics, it's a very interesting world.
I love it. And I think that what most resonates through this conversation is obviously how passionate you are about what you do and how excited you are about the different aspects. And I think it's really fun for me to sit and listen to how you can talk so excitedly about the technologies you were building, and then the from a business perspective, a leadership perspective, growing the organizations. And you mentioned how every 2 years you had sort of this different cycle of innovation within the organization and the growth, and then talking about how you're actually expanding it to work with different teams in different capacities, and not, on a specific vertical, but on 3 different big domains that require, a lot of thesis building on your end, but then a lot of conviction and a lot partnership with teams. And obviously then spending time to think about where we're headed, as a world and what the future is like. And so it just sounds like you're having a blast. And I really want to thank you for spending these 20 minutes with me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much.